Hey YouTube, it's Black, and today I'm going to be doing a deck profile for a deck I actually took to my locals. And I got second place in the tournament. I played against Black Wings, Battling Boxers, Laval's, and one more I can't remember, but I probably would have won if I had, oh, and Car Curry. Sorry about that. I probably would have won if I hadn't dropped to the end because I had to leave, but this is actually my second baby for the format. This is my Archfiend Dark World deck. And this is something that started as a joke between me and my friend the Special One, because we could draw infinitely and put a bunch of monsters on the board, and our opponents just ended up quitting afterwards. But as time went on, I started learning the rulings and learning the advantages and disadvantages of this deck. It eventually became this, and I wanted to show it to you guys today for another alternative on a way you could play Archfiends. So starting off, we have 2 Tragodias, 3 Archfiend Emperors, probably the most important card in this deck, 1 Empress, 1 Grapha, 2 Archfiend Cavalries, 2 Snows, 1 Beige, 2 Trance Archfiends, 2 Brows, 2 Tour Guides, and 2 Archfiend Heiresses. Spells, we have 1 Mind Control, 2 Trade-ins, 2 Dark World Dealings, 1 Foolish, 2 MSTs, a Book of Moon, and 2 Gates of the Dark World. Trap lineup consists of a Bottomless, a DDV, 2 Archfiends Roars, 1 Compulse, 2 Skill Drains, 1 Call of the Haunted, and a Warning. Extra deck is a Tachyon Dragon, Heretic Sun Dragon, Giant Killer, Utopia, Master Key Beetle, Evil Swarm Thanatos, Black Ship of Corn, Steel Swarm Roach, Maystroke, Gaga Cowboy, an Acid Golem, a Laver, a Tempo, a Zenmains, and a Fortune Tune. And I'll actually be doing a full explanation of my side deck as well, but for now, starting off, why Tragodia? Tragodia is in this deck because this deck needed an extra body. There were a lot of times where I had an open field and a giant hand and I couldn't do anything with it. So I figured Trag would probably be the best bet for this deck. Plus, I can recycle anything I may lose with Trance Archfiend, Fortune Tune, and Eris just adds stuff to my hand, which is great. I can hold on to Dark World cards if I need it, like Dealings or Grapha, or even Brow and Snow, just to keep Trag powerful. Trag can manipulate his levels to 4, 8, or 3, pretty much giving me access to everything in my extra deck. Plus, Trag is just a great card in general. 3 Emperors. You absolutely need 3 Emperors. Emperor is the reason this deck actually works. He's your Hyperion for the deck, even though he locks you into summoning Fiend types only. So when you Call the Haunted or Roar him, you're locked, extra deck wise, you're locked into summoning either Thanatos, Maystroke, Roach, or Tempo, but that's alright because he can protect him. Well, he can't protect himself, but he can remove stuff on his own and just get over things you may need by just removing an Archfiend card, just to pop a card on the field. And no, that doesn't have to be a monster. It can be just a random Archfiend card, like if you're playing Palabyrinth or if you're playing a used up Roar. Plus, if you bring him back with Cavalry or bring him back with Roar, or summon him while Skill Drain is active, he goes from 15 to 3000, and it's just a very good first turn summon. Why am I playing Empress? Empress, a lot of people choose to opt out of Empress. I am not one of those people. I do like Empress for the sheer fact, 1, she's a trade-in target. 2, she has the same effect as Cavalry, basically bringing back either Archfiend Emperor or Grapha if she dies by a card effect. Usually that's going to be through Roar or Call of the Haunted. Plus, she has the ability to protect other fiends in the field. The only thing is you're probably never going to summon this card normally, and it's just mostly going to be used as a trading cost, a Dark World Dealings cost, or a Gates of the Dark World card cost. But I was playing more than one on this card. I do like it at 1 because it is basically a bigger Cavalry. Grapha, because I play Dark Worlds, and more than 1 Grapha is a little too much for a hybrid build, because you don't have as many discard outlets as you would with a pure Dark World build or anything more than that. So I feel like 1 is fine. You can Foolish this to get it out the graveyard if you feel like it, and if it's in the hand, you can just discard it if you do draw into one of your discard outlets. Cavalry is your main beater for the deck. With Gates out on the field, he goes from 19 to 22, which is really, really nice. Plus, if you bring him back at Roar and he dies successfully by Roar or by Torrential, you get a free Archfiend out the graveyard. More than likely, that's going to be Empress or Emperor, or even Trance if you feel like it. Snow is pretty self-explanatory because Snow is Dark World. She's a tutor for the Dark Worlds. If she's discarded, you get a Dark World card. Beige is a free rank 4 essentially. If you drop him with Trance, you get him out, and Trance goes to 23 and he goes to 19 if you have Gates out. Plus afterwards you can go to Master Key Beetle to protect the gate. Another thing you actually can do, which I found out, is if you call the Haunted Trance Archfiend and discard Beige, once you make Master Key Beetle, you can actually target that dead call of the Haunted, so you just have a free card to protect with Master Key Beetle while he's on the field. Brow, self-explanatory. Tour Guide target, plus he can be discarded for gates or anything. Tour Guide tutors out your Brows and your Heiresses. Allows you to go very, very easily into rank 3s. More than likely that's either going to be Zen Mains or Fortune Tune. And Heiress tutors the entire Archfiend part of this deck. You can search out any Archfiend card if it's sent to the graveyard by battle or by card effect. For pure builds of this deck though, I do recommend 3. I'm playing 2 because it's a hybrid. And I do need space for the other Dark World cards. This is the one thing I've been debating with over several people. And I actually had a discussion with someone the day of the tournament about Mind Control over Falling Down. I do not play as many Archfiend cards as somebody playing a pure build would. And the only other problem I've been having with Falling Down is that you can chain MST to Falling Down. And like I've stolen monsters and attacked my opponent, MSTs my Falling Down during the battle phase, and I lose their monster. So Mind Control just helps eliminate that whole chaining MST to this aspect. If you're playing against something like Black Wings and you Mind Control first, they lose their Icarus attack target, and it just moves things out the way that you may need and allows for easy XYZ. Trade in because I play 5 trade-in targets. Nice little draw engine for this deck. Dealings because it helps with the Dark Worlds and helps with Heiress. Foolish helps me set up any Roar plays, any Call the Haunted plays, just purely Foolishing Heiress to get a card, or Foolishing Grapha because I have a Dark World in hand. Self-explanatory. And Book of Moon is just to help stun people. Gates because it's a Fiend deck and it helps facilitate a lot of plays in this deck. Why am I not playing Palabyrinth over this one card? Palabyrinth is a good card for attack boosting, but it's just not good for anything else in my opinion. Well, at least not yet until we get Commander of the Archfiends. There should be a Torrential in here. Bottomless, self-explanatory. DDV just destroys people. This helped me a lot against the Karakuri player I played. I DDV'd him when he summoned Komachi, and it just wrecked his entire hand. And that was freaking awesome. Why I'm not playing 3 Roars, I was playing 3, but eventually the problem became I ran out of targets. And Call is just a nice card to have too. But I do have 1 extra in my side if I ever want to side out my Call for that 3rd Roar. But this is just basically free Call on Haunted for Archfiends, even though they die by card effect during the end phase. But more than likely, you're going to be using this card to facilitate a special summon off of Cavalry or off of Empress, or either just pushing for game with this card. Compulse is just nice to have as an out to things. Like this deck has a very, very, very hard game against battling boxers, because you can't immediately get over lead yoke and you have to do some really, really complicated BS just to get over it. Once I sided in Compulse, it just created a very easy out to lead yoke, and it's just also a good card in general. Skill Drain. This deck can successfully play around with this card because it doesn't really wreck any of your combos, minus any Tour Guide plays or any XYZ plays you may have with Tour Guide, or Trance's effect to discard. But then again, you have other discard outlets like Dark World Dealings and Gates. Plus, Trance still gets this effect for things you removed off of Emperor. But if you're going to use this card in conjunction with Emperor, Skill Drain has to be active on the field first. Because if you summon Emperor and then Skill Drain and still expect Emperor to live, he will still die because his condition states when he was normal summoned that he has to die at the end phase. If you already have Skill Drain active and summon Emperor, that condition is not applied. So remember, this first and then this. Just remember that combo. Skill Drain and then Emperor. And Call a Haunted because it brings stuff back, and Warning because Warning. The 2 main things I want to talk about in my extra deck, one, this deck can use Crazy Box, even though you may not want to use Crazy Box. But the other thing I would say, instead of Crazy Box, play Evil Swarm Thanatos. Thanatos has the ability of you can detach a material and it's unaffected by other monster effects. So it gets over a lot of things. If your opponent's playing Evil Swarms, you can summon this to get over Ophion, and if they try to chain Radicator Epidemic Virus, I think that protects him as well. Plus, with Gates on the field, he goes up to 2650, which is very nice. Roach, because if you're playing Dragon Rulers, I think this stops their summon, plus he's a Fiend, and he's one of the only other rank 4s you can go for while Emperor's on the field. Mace Stroke, because it's Mace Stroke, and he's a Fiend. Tim Tempo is probably going to be the other rank 3 you go for under Archfiend Emperor, because he'll be an excellent MVP for the deck. Meaning, because he can just detach materials from XYZs, get rid of over Zen Mains, or even Acid Golem, to lock your opponent from attacking or special summoning. Zen Mains, if you're going for a Tour Guide play, you're probably going to either go for this card or for Fortune Tune. I recommend Fortune Tune first, because Fortune Tune can't be targeted by anything. I did have another argument slash discussion with a guy going, oh no, Fortune 2's not good because Fortune 2 can be faded. Not everybody plays spellbooks, so yeah. But Fortune 2 can't be targeted. And you gain 500 life points in each of your standby phase. It is. You can just detach a material to protect himself from being destroyed by battle or by a card effect. Plus, when he dies, you get to shuffle the targets you use to make him back into the deck, allowing for infinite tour guide uses and infinite Archfiend searches. But the one thing you have to remember, if you do remove one of his targets or don't have 2 level 3s to send back, he will just die and you don't get to shuffle. But he also sets off Eris's effect like Zen mains because his protection effect is continuous. Now I do want to talk about my side deck a bit. My side deck is pretty much I can swap into a pure Archfiend build with the Falling Downs. They're here if anybody was wondering. And Palabyrinth and the 2 Pandemoniums to search out anything I need. Plus here's my extra Roar and my extra Call of the Haunted. The 3 things you may notice are different are the 2 Flying Seas and the 1 Allure. The 1 Allure is just for extra draw power. If I need it, I can swap out Book of Moon for this card and still facilitate the same advantage I would have. While I'm playing Flying Sea, 1, Flying Sea comes Ultra now and it looks really nice just like Emperor. And 2, like I stated earlier, this deck has a really big problem with Battling Boxer lead yoke, as a lot of decks do, because it doesn't have 1 immediate out to that card. Flying Sea just, when they do the switch hitter play, you special summon Flying Sea and it just stops them completely. So yeah, it's just a good card for heavy XYZ decks, and this is in particular this card's for the Battling Boxer matchup. So yeah, it's great. But yeah, that about wraps up the deck profile. Like I said, this is my other baby for the format, the other deck I swap in and out of. But I just wanted to share it with you guys today. Let me know what you guys think of this deck. I'm constantly trying to improve this. But let me know if you have any suggestions, criticisms, or whatever. And as always, thank you all for watching. Stay black, and I will see you next time.